Okay, I've got it up now. It's a bit of a random order because obviously I think Boxrec puts it in their stars order. But let's go. Where should we start? Someone pick somewhere to start off.
I guess the fight that was to be that no longer has one of the opponents. I guess Dimitri Bivol. I guess that was essentially going to be the marquee one.
Do you think so? I'm not too sure. Do you think it's going to be still like the last fight?
Oh, I don't know about now, but with the previous opponent, it was going to be the marquee fight.
Yeah. Well, we'll start there. We might as well. We'll get it over and out of the way. Bivol versus Malik Zinad. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. Go on, Josh. You throw it out there first.
Yeah, Josh, give us a prediction on this fight.
Dimitri Bivol, dominant victory.
Next. Okay, Alex.
Yeah, I got Bivol by destruction. The thing is, the biggest question: knockout or decision? I mean, the guy's 22-0. I don't know anyone he's beat. Like I said, we don't even know how to pronounce his name properly, which is, I don't want to disrespect the guy. No. It's just, fuck, we're supposed to get undisputed, and now we're seeing Malik Zinad, who's from Libya and resides in Malta. So, I mean, listen, they wanted to keep him active. We want him active. We want him, fine-tuned. Better be if it's another time where he's pulled out. I think it's about the fourth time where he's pulled out of a fight due to injury. And, when he comes back, he usually comes back stronger. It's very abnormal how this keeps occurring. It's very abnormal, like his test results. It's very abnormal how he remains to be close to 40 years old and he's knocking everyone, the fuck out. So if I was Bivol, I'd be I would have keeping a normal approach to, what to expect from Better Be If once they do reschedule it, because it's probably going to be an abnormal fight with an abnormal ending and an abnormal result. Man, why do I keep saying abnormal?
Okay, that's that one out of the way. Next, let's go to the heavyweights. Why not? Let's start with Wilder versus Zhang. Fun fight, exciting fight. What's Wilder got left? Zhang's up there in age as well. Both coming off losses. Alex, we'll go to you first on this one. Are you excited by it? Does it interest you? Who do you think wins? Prediction, go.
Excited? I'm not too sure. Interested, absolutely.
Intrigued.
We all want to see, heavyweights that can knock each other out in the ring. Deontay Wilder, the biggest puncher we've probably ever seen in our lifetime for sure. Zhile Big Bang Zhang. He's telling you they're gonna go in there and they're gonna bang, however you want to interpret that. Zhang had the big knockout over Joe Joyce. I was calling for Joe Joyce versus Deontay Wilder, and now I'm accepting of this fight. Yeah, let's get in the ring. I want to see two guys knock each other out. Is Wilder gonna go in there try to do hammer fist? Or he's going to go in there and show why they called it, the big Alabama slammer, with that right hand. Molineer is what I call it. Let's get in there. Let's see what happens. I expect one of these guys to have the lights out. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be Wilder that gets knocked out. Zhile Zhang, under 7.
Under 7. Okay. Nice. Josh, what's yours prediction on that one?
What Alex said, all the above, but I think it's going to be an even shorter fight. I don't see it going past 2 rounds in favor of Zhang.
Well, okay.
Sorry, Wilder.
Short and sweet.
We love you.
And I will say this, Zhang is going to be the bigger fighter. But one of the things about Wilder, for all his success, I think a lot of that power has been, from the top. If you really look at his legs, very skinny legs, so he's not generating it in that fashion. And I just think the size of Zhang is just going to be in play. And he can box as well. He's pretty skilled, certainly by comparison to Wilder.
Yeah,
Don't get it twisted. They both can knock each other out. It's just it's hard to pick Wilder based off the last performance. It's just hard.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Heavy Chevy guy says Zhang by KO. Boz has said Zhang by winning to KO rounds 3 or 4. Wilder's best days are past him, and that is absolutely true. He's getting on in age. So Zhang, it's an intriguing fight. I think I agree with both of you. Actually, I think Zhang will will win. I'm not sure if he'll do it quite as quick as what some of you are predicting. I think I'm more with Alex in terms of maybe getting towards the middle rounds, possibly. But yeah, I think Zhang will get the job done. Let's go on to the next heavyweight fight as well then. Daniel Dubois versus Filip Hrgovic. This might possibly be the closest one in terms of odds. I'm not too sure.
Actually, it's Wilder Zhang.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Shocking, right?
Yeah. And I'd actually be quite intrigued as to who's the favourite for this one. I assume Dubois might be just about a favourite for some reason.
Not on the US books.
Oh, is he not?
Hrgovic, I think he's like a 2-to-1 favorite. I guess you would put it.
Okay.
He's like minus 200, I think.
Yeah.
Minus 275. No, I think it was like minus 275 on my books last time I checked.
We'll have to go and check that out. But yeah, this is a really interesting, really intriguing fight. Obviously, Hrgovic been around for a long time, but only had 17 fights, and just he was supposed to be the next big thing. I always say that when we talk about Hrgovic. Not quite lived up to that initial hype, I don't think. Decent Olympic pedigree, amateur pedigree, I think. Dubois obviously was thrown in quite young, and he got beat up by Joyce, and then he lost to Usyk. Alex thinks he should be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, though.
Went out the fourth belt.
Josh, we'll come to you first on this one. Give us a pick and how you think this one goes.
Interesting, as you noted. Interesting fight for sure. Daniel Dubois, of course, he's coming off a win over Jarrell Miller, who came in at 300 and something pounds, of course, and who knows? But Miller was putting up a fight, I will say. But yeah, who knows what kind of litmus test that really is. But also put up a good fight against Alexander Usyk. Some thought he won. That body shot was right there on the belt line. Definitely did not look like a clean low blow. And some of us, of course, were wondering how Dubois would do in a contest with the likes of an Usyk, but he showed himself to be do fairly well, in moments there in that fight, in rounds, and of course the marquee round where he was able to drop Usyk. Now, Hrgovic, this guy been touted since he stepped into the ranks and his name started to get out there. He's fought over here in the U.S. I've actually followed him for a good bit, and there are a lot of people who had a lot of promise for him as far as where they expected him to be at this stage and where he was headed here in the heavyweight division. And I think he's lived up to some of that kind of hype or whatnot, and he got a great win over Zhang that looks better and better as the days go on, and that was a close win for him, and he went through a little bit of adversity in that fight and overcame it. Big puncher, Dubois, big puncher. It's going to come down to that pedigree, and it's hard to not think Hrgovic, but I think Dubois will put up a fight. But I think that if push comes to shove and one of them are pushed to that breaking point, I'm going to lean on the side of Hrgovic. So I'm going to say a late stoppage for Hrgovic, because I think the two will have their moments, have their exchanges. And then as we get down there towards the tail end, I think that Hrgovic will be able to get him out of there, which has tended to be the case in the two losses that Dubois has. It's usually come a little bit later in the fights. So, but I'm expecting a very good fight, though.
Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment, I think. I just had a quick look over on the odds just while you was talking there, Josh, and Hrgovic is just a slight favourite, but I mean, it's pretty much 50-50
Yeah.
You can get 4 to 9, so £4 for every 9 that you'd put on for Hrgovic, and what's the best for Dubois? £19 for every £10 that you put on. So it's pretty close. It's about as close as you get really for boxing. Alex, your prediction and pick for this one as well, please.
It's interesting. Hrgovic, was seen as basically, like, they called him a boogeyman, a monster. And then, fortunately, his dad passes away before the Zhang fight. And when he goes in that fight, he gets dropped. and we've seen the side of Hrgovic we've never seen before. A guy using his footwork, a guy moving, turning his back too is really weird. He gets a decision that many people felt that Zhang won. I had it very close. I think I had Zhang winning because of the knockdown. You know, then he fights Dempsey McKean, right? Very uninspired fight. McKean, not seen as a great heavyweight, but a decent one. I think he spars a lot in the UK. He has a bit of buzz there. But, you know, then he gets a stoppage in the last round. And then, you know, they give him a straight layup in Saudi. I mean, it was like the Mori, I think his name was. So, you know, since, you know, I hate to mention it, but since his father's passed, he hasn't made it look the same. And then you got Dubois. You know, I thought he was going to beat Joyce. He gets stopped. You know, takes a knee because his eye's all fucked. You know, gets a couple decent, you know, tune-ups. And then you had the Lorena fight, man. Looks like did he have a leg injury? Gets dropped 3 times. But 2 rounds later, stops Lorena. The Usyk fight. The body shot, right? Thinks he knocks him down and then gets worn down, gets beat up and stopped. That Miller fight I think it changed so much perspective. Everyone was worried that Miller would be able to overwhelm him. Yeah. And Dubois, you know, he did pretty well. Towards the middle rounds, Miller started coming on. Everyone was like, hold on, here we go. This is it. He showed he has toughness. He showed the grit that people thought he didn't have. And finishes Miller right towards the end of the fight. So I would say Dubois is a little bit more up than Hrgovic at this time. However, I'm going to hold that Hrgovic is going to find who he was prior to, you know, the life-changing event. And I think basically the same thing as Josh. I'm going to go KO 7-12 Hrgovic.
Okay. Yeah, I'm along the same lines as you. I'm just kind of picking up on what Josh said. Is you kind of go off the form and the precedent, and we're seeing Dubois being broken down and stopped eventually. And I think Hrgovic has got the size, the quality, the tools to do that. And like you said there, Alex, we've probably not seen the best of what Hrgovic's potential possibly is. No. And as we know, as heavyweights, they can develop a little bit later on. He's 31 years old, so he's still definitely got time to produce some quality stuff. And let's hope that that's what we see, because I think soon the heavyweight division could be lacking, really. And we need Hrgovic to be one of those guys that really steps up and maybe become one of the next big players. So, yeah, I'd go with Hrgovic on that one. Dubois still really young. He'll still come again. He'll have lots of other options going forward, even if he has a third loss. And particularly, you know, with the heavyweight scene in the UK, it's still pretty vibrant. So he'll have plenty of options going forward. Let's move it along. We'll go to the top of this screen now. Hamza Sheeraz versus Dustin Williams. This is a great fight. I know there's a lot of interest in this one. A lot of people think this might be the best fight on the card. Alex, we'll come to you first on this one. How do you see this one going? What do you make of the fight? Who do you think comes out on top?
Yeah, you know, I was very surprised. These are two guys I think that, you know, been built by, you know, their own promotions. Ammo, I think, has been developing a little bit longer at a higher level, but kind of seems to have stalled out. You know, I think maybe probably to some of his actions outside the ring, he's done it to himself. Inside the ring, he's a very good fighter, very solid guy. But there's been a couple of times where maybe we believe he should, you know, we're expecting a stoppage, and he goes and, you know, he outpoints him. Now, that's very good experience. However, you know, when Hamza got him with a guy that we expect to knock out, such as Liam Williams, I mean, first round, you know, night. I mean, this guy has been taking care of everybody. He fought River Wilson Bent, you know, 2 rounds, you know, bye-bye. When he fought Ammo, it took Ammo 8 rounds, and it was kind of I wouldn't say back and forth, but it was, you know, kind of competitive in a sense. You know, it kind of seemed like River Bent still had a opportunity to maybe, you know, make adjustments to go ahead and come, you know, get the advantage over Austin, which didn't happen, obviously. So I got to say, I have to favor Hamza. You know, Hamza. I got to watch a little more of Hamza. But from the little I've seen, nice straight punches, good power, and just with ammo, it's like it's always like I had this expectation, and he never meets it. So
yeah,
why is that? Hamza. This decision. Yeah, not confident. Decision. We'll say that from now.
Okay, I'll just quickly look in there. I thought, he's a tall fighter. He's 6'3", but I mean, Austin Williams isn't small, is he? He's 6 foot and middleweight, so he's a decent size himself. So that might not be a huge factor. Although I think Hamza's like got a really, really long reach.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, very interesting. Josh, give us your take on that one.
I'm honestly kind of in the same view as Alex here. I have seen a number of Emma Williams fights, and I honestly haven't been overly impressed. To be honest, I just haven't been overly impressed. He's done some good things, and I think this will be sort of that test for sure with Sheeraz, and certainly the way Sheeraz dispatched of Liam Williams. I thought that's an example of how you approach it when you're a young fighter with expectations. You're in there with a veteran who they say is on the downslide. You go prove that, and I thought Sheeraz did that. And I think that length is going to be something interesting for Emma Williams, who I think will battle back if he's put in a tough position. But just over the course of a contest, I just like the look of Sheeraz just overall from his boxing ability and the way he uses his length and works the jab. And he seems to be able to punch pretty well. So hopefully it's a good fight, because this is the type of test that I've been looking for Emma Williams. And he had been rumored over the last 2 years, I would say, it seems at this point, to fight to be matched up with Dalton Smith at some point, but apparently that never materialized. So this is that real test since mention of Dalton Smith. And if he passes this, I will be fairly impressed with Emma Williams, and I'll think he's the goods. But based on what I've seen thus far, I just think Sheeraz is just a bit of a better fighter.
Okay. I think I'm going to go along with that as well. I think Sheeraz, I'm going to go with points. I think he'll win on points. I don't think he's going to keep up his streak of knockouts.
Manchester knockout.
I think Austin Williams is probably more of a trickier, well-seasoned, better boxer than Hamza Sheeraz's face probably ever so far. So it is a step up, probably a step up for both of them, really. But yeah, I just think he'll be cagey enough to not get stopped. But I think Sheeraz will probably win on points. I just had a quick look on the odds, and Sheeraz is the favourite. He's 1-2, and you get 2-1 on Williams. So not a massive favourite, but still a favourite nonetheless. Next, Raymond Ford, Nick Ball, another interesting fight. Josh, yeah, we'll go first with you.
Good fight. I like Nick Ball. I thought he showed, he's gritty. You gotta like him. He's always shown that good deal, but even more so in that fight with Ray Vargas last time out, in a fight that many people feel that Nick Ball should have won. And Nick Ball started slow in that fight, but he came on late. And despite having such an advantage, or Ray Vargas having such an advantage in height and reach, Ball found a way to close that distance, and he's really giving it to Ray Vargas, especially there at the tail end. Now, Raymond Ford, I've seen a number of his fights. I still always stand behind when he fought, I believe it's Eddie Vasquez or someone on there. I think so I think that he lost that fight, and they gave him a decision. And Vasquez, he can box, and Raymond Ford, since then, he's bounced back, got some good wins, and he showed that he's very, very tough in that Kolmatov fight, but he was losing on the cards and able to find a way to get a stoppage. Nick Ball, man, I haven't seen anything be able to stop this sort of wrecking ball that is Nick Ball, and I think that he has the ability to stop Raymond Ford. So I'm going to go with a late knockout, mid to late knockout there for Nick Ball over Raymond Ford in what should be a good fight right here. But yeah, I just think that Nick Ball has a bit more of what I would say would be that kind of that grit, that overall just tenacity and that want for that victory. And I think it will show it in just based on what I've seen thus far. And his power seems to be pretty much real, but salute to Raymond Ford because he has come a long way. But yeah, I don't know that he'll hold that belt for very long. I never felt he'd hold it for very long based on that win he got in his last contest. So those are my thoughts there.
All right. Alex, your predictions of this one?
I'm sorry, I'm just a little taken aback that he said that Nick Ball has more grit. Let me ask you: has Nick Ball ever been down on the cards against an undefeated puncher and stopped him in the last 10 seconds of a fight? Who got more? How could you say he got more grit? Raymond Ford? No. But honestly, man, what a fucking fight. Nick Ball is, he's everything that I think people give him credit for. He is a mean little motherfucker in there, man. He is a little small, skinny bulldog. You know what I mean? He's a pit terrier, straight up bull terrier. Yeah. He's a wrecking ball. That's how I always describe him. He's a wrecking ball. He goes in there. He ain't in there to, jab. He's not in there to look good. He's in there to, he's in there to knock your head around, and he's been doing well at it. Raymond Ford, man, he's more seen as the boxer, but like I mentioned, he went ahead, he started pressing forward towards the power puncher, and he earned his TKO victory. A little controversy, especially because I bet on Hrgovic to win, and there was a little bit of a strange ending because it looked like he hurt himself, but he was getting his ass whooped towards the end, and it's within the referee. You turn your back, you can't hit on the ropes. Sometimes you'll be like Tyson Fury, or sometimes you'll be like Hrgovic. So, yeah, Raymond Ford, very skilled fighter, guy, very young too, 25 years old. They've been bringing him up. Like you said, had that close fight with Edward Vasquez. Who also had a close fight with Edward Vasquez? Joe Cordina, champion. So I think people are learning, and they brought him up in weight. Keep that in mind. You're learning that. Edward Vasquez is a good fighter. Look at that. Reese Belotti. Everyone knows that guy in the UK. That guy's tough. My man Ray Ford got him out of there. Now you got Nick Ball. He fought Ray Vargas, who fights once every 14 months, and he get a draw. He couldn't get him out of there. The only thing I'm worried about is the weight cut. They said it's very hard for Ford. He's been talking about moving up. A little reminiscent of Joy Cordina, just, the words are a little bit, I'd rather hear it from the way Ford says it than Mr. Cocky Cordina. I'm going with Ray Ford. USA! Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, now he's done that. I might have to be swayed to go for the Brit. I don't know. I think this is close. I think this is going to be a close fight, man. I think Ford might just be skilled enough to cause Nick Ball too many problems. He is the favourite. I just had a quick look. He's the favourite for this. Again, it's very, very tight. It's almost a 50-50 evens for each fighter, but Ray Ford is the very slight favourite. And yeah, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to box to a decision. I think Nick Ball will just come a little bit short, no pun intended. He won't be able to land those massive punches on him. So yeah, I'm just going to go with that. I would love Nick Ball to win this actually, because I think he's a great fighter, a fun fighter to watch. I'm not going to do a USA or a UK chant. We don't do that shit over here.
Yeah, well, never mind. I'm not going to say why.
Yeah, that wraps that one up. Okay. We covered the main ones. Willie Hutchinson, Craig Richards is the kind of the less desirable fight, I guess, on the card. It's a nice fight. Willie Hutchinson had an upset loss a little while back. I think he's had a few wins.
It's a decent guy
on the quiet.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that guy even fights anymore.
Oh, Clark.
Inactive. Got beat off.
Guy that just
Mark
got knocked out.
Interesting.
Last night. So yeah, he's had a few comeback wins, and I think on low key events at York Hall, Willie Hutchinson. But yeah, Craig Richards is a bit of a veteran. He's been in with some decent names, and ultimately he loses to the big ones, Bivol and Boise.
Solid light heavyweight though, man.
He's decent. He's decent. He lost to Frank Buglio quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a good test for Willie Hutchinson. He'll probably be the favourite, and I'm thinking he'll probably win. I think Craig Richards is, he's 34 years old. He's probably coming to the end of his career. What do you make of this one, Josh? Give us a final prediction for this, and then we'll.
I'm kind of with you there. Solid fighter there. Solid light heavy, as Alex mentioned. That being Craig Richards. But I might lean Hutchinson in this one. I won't say that I'm overly strong in any direction, but yeah, I give Hutchinson the edge probably for a decision. As you mentioned, there is that age difference. I think Richards is a good test for some of these younger light heavyweights when you're trying to see exactly where they are at that stage, and the potential moving forward. So I think he can likely get over Richards, and I see. Yeah. So I'm going to go decision as well, just based on what I know of the two fighters.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, I've seen very little Willie Hutchinson, but I always hear really good things about him. And he was actually a world level amateur. I think he won the junior world championships, and like David Morrell had one in the weight class above him. I hear people saying a couple dudes that couple guys that I know that actually know about Willie. They say that they think he matches up well with David Morrell. So maybe that's something to look forward to the future. Willie Hutchinson is actually plus money here in the States. It was a bit wider. I think it was like plus 150 or plus 140 when it opened. Now it's plus 115. So if you're in the U.S., I think Willie Hutchinson is probably someone to look at. I had to look more into it, but I think I might just lock in Willie Hutchinson at plus money, just to go ahead. Because I think, like you said, it just kind of seems set up for Willie to win. Probably get Craig a nice payday. Shout out Matchroom Eddie Hearn. But, it's just probably, Richards is, on the decline, and Hutchinson is reaching his prime. So, I mean, we'll see. But, just off of the things I've heard and the little I've seen of Willie, I'm giving it him. I'm going to just go ahead and make that my prediction. Willie Hutchinson money line, baby.
Yeah. Now, I just had a quick look since you said that. And over here, Craig Richards is the favourite. Again, very, very close. So it's another well-matched fight. Like I say, they're not exactly matched for one of them to win because it's rival promoters. So, but yeah, no, it's another intriguing fight, and it will be a test for Willie Hutchinson. Like you did say, he was highly touted over here. Well, when he was coming up before he suffered that shock defeat. So he should really. If he's going to go to the levels that he was expected to get to, then he probably should be beating Craig Richards essentially. So
this is the time to show out.
Exactly.
Yeah, this would be a good win on the ledger right here.
Absolutely.